Hey everyone, Coach Dan.
And Lisa.
And
we are here to make delicious chocolate zucchini muffins. And I cook all the time on these videos because, you know, he makes me do it. I love to do it. But the thing that I really love to do is bake. And so I took a recipe posted by one of my Facebook friends named Mandy Bose, and she had chocolate zucchini bread, and I looked at it and changed a couple of things and came up with a muffin that is to die for.
It is
just saying, if you're
so
living a healthier lifestyle, trying to use less refined sugars and, you know, incorporate that zucchini in there, this recipe is for you.
Yeah, and it's fantastic, guys. I'll tell you, like, really don't notice any. Now, granted, I'm not eating Otis Spunkmeyer muffins either all the time. So, but as it relates, you know, as in my world, this is amazing.
And you don't taste the zucchini. I don't know what it is
Very true.
about zucchini, but whatever you use it in, I put it in the stuffed peppers, I put it in this, I put it in bread. You don't taste it. There's no texture. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway, the thing I wanted to show you guys, the trickiest part of making the zucchini muffins is squeezing out the zucchini. You have to squeeze out all that, not all of it, but a lot of that extra water. So I have it over here. I don't know if the camera's going to reach it. Okay, so I already shredded it, so you can see it's this disgusting mess. And you can look, see this water's already coming out. So you want to take it and just put it in the bowl.
So how much did you do approximately?
I did a whole zucchini. The zucchini was this big.
Okay.
This is gonna make, this is probably 2 cups, and I'm only gonna need 1 cup.
Okay, about a cup,
Okay,
1 cup.
so really, we're just gonna do some squeezing. It's not fun to watch, but I do want you to see, and it's a huge mess. I'll make sure Dan stops the camera. But you want to squeeze it all out. If you have an old dish towel that doesn't have a lot of lint on it, you can do it that way. I've tried it with paper towel, and it really tears, no matter how good your paper towels
might work,
are. Yeah, cheesecloth.
Fancy.
I like to use my salad spinner sometimes so the liquid goes down. But this is about a cup. So we'll use it, but I'll have Dan stop the video because my hands are gross. But I just wanted you to see, this is the only tricky part of this. Everybody knows how to make muffins, you know what to do. But this is just the tricky part. Make sure you squeeze your zucchini so that when you squeeze it, very little water comes out. It does add to the moisture, of course, but you don't want it to be sloppy because look, can you see? Yeah. Lots and lots of extra water in there. So come right back and I will have my hands washed and I'll have this in a measuring cup. You can see this is a whole cup of zucchini. I pushed it in there, and guess what? It was the ball in my hand.
Yeah.
I amazed myself, I'm just saying. So anyway, this goes in, and you know when you make muffins or you're making bread, see it's really packed in there. So I try to sneak in as much zucchini as I can. When you're making muffins or anything that you're baking, you put the wet in one, you put the dry in the other. So the wet in this one, we have the zucchini, we have 1/3 cup of Greek yogurt. You guys know I use Greek yogurt for like a billion things.
All the time.
So this is replacing a lot of the fat in this, and it's providing a lot of moisture and making a pretty big mess. And then 1/3 cup of almond milk. This is unsweetened. Okay.
Very good.
1 egg. And a combo of honey and maple syrup. If you look, you can see it's layered. The honey's on the bottom, maple syrup's on the top. You can use whatever sweetener you want. We were going for a more unrefined sweetener in this. You could put sugar in, you could put brown sugar in, it probably tastes really good.
You probably put stevia too as well.
Stevia. I have a hard time baking with stevia sometimes, but if you guys have success baking with stevia, I would love to hear about it because sometimes I find it leaves a little bit of a bitter aftertaste in some of the baked goods. So
again, guys, these are just so we're kind of this is a healthier option. This isn't like completely like and then you can eat like 10 of these. Okay,
no,
these are
still,
treats
it makes
still,
12,
but it's healthy treats.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the chocolate chips are minimal. 2 teaspoons of vanilla because I like to have a lot of vanilla. Picks up the sweetness in there. Okay. So that's, pure vanilla. And that's all of the wet. So combine all that. See, it's disgusting, right? I did not peel that zucchini. When you make this, you don't have to peel it. A lot of things that I use it, you don't have to peel it.
You won't even notice inside it.
No, it saves so much time.
So dark.
And so another great thing about these muffins is it's all whole wheat flour. And Dan, I was getting this stuff out. He goes, so you're using like half white and half wheat? And I was like, can you believe it's all whole wheat flour?
These are so good.
Yeah, so it's just 1 1/4 cup. For 12 muffins, that's not a lot of flour, if you ask me. So, and then 1/3 cup cocoa powder. This isn't any kind of fancy cocoa powder. It's just from Aldi. And this a quarter teaspoon of salt.
It could be Himalayan if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would use Himalayan in this. Might be a little
not so
too
much. Good.
you know, like crunchiness in
Gotcha.
there. Yeah.
Good deal.
I don't know. Check it out. Anyway, and then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I wanted to tell you, I put them in these little cups not because I'm fancy, but because my baking soda jar is disgusting.
Ramekins.
It's gross to look at. Oh, I forgot one thing. So I'm sifting all this together. So you remember when your grandma would do like and put all the sifting situation? This is how I do it. I forgot one thing. This is 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. So what you do is you take your coconut oil and scoop it out of the container. You have to melt it, and then you have to cool it. This is at room temperature, so you can see it hasn't solidified again. If you don't melt it and cool it, it's not going to distribute in your wet ingredients. And so really make sure you melt it and cool it. It seems like dumb. Why would I melt it and cool it? This is why. You want it to still be liquid, but it can't be hot enough to cook those eggs in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good word.
So anyway, little tips like that. So all these wet ingredients are going to go into the dry.
Okay, so we stir that all in.
Yeah. It's not rocket science, people.
It is not.
It's just cooking. It's just fun. So I'm going to put this over here on my KitchenAid. Or I could just do it by hand, but I don't know. Should I do it by hand?
We'll probably do it by hand for just a second. So we're gonna hit it into the KitchenAid here. We'll actually get that rolling, and then we'll head to the next step.
Yes.
All right, it's time. Got the KitchenAid mixed all up, and got our muffin pan all set. We sprayed, so we're spraying. We like to use, just so you know, we try to use the non-aerosol kind of this, so it's pretty much just air compressed when it comes to that, which is keeping it really, really clean. So it takes out some of the soy lecithin and other preservatives and propellants that kind of send the oil out. So it's
You
just
can
really
get that
air.
at
Aldi.
Pretty cheap.
Or you can even get your own. You can even get your own where you kind of start to
Yes.
pump it up, which is well. Okay.
So here's the not, perfect part, the little treat part. 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. I think if I had mini chips in the house, I would probably put mini chips in this just to distribute it a little better. Last time I made them, I chopped them up, and it was kind of a pain. So I don't think I'm going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I'd like to buy some mini ones maybe for these especially.
And could you go even like darker if you really wanted to go into
Dark
the
chocolate
cacao?
You know what? That's probably what Sophie would like.
Yeah.
And those tend to be even bigger. The
Yeah.
chips are bigger, so you probably would want to chop those or find mini ones of that.
Or even like a chocolate bars that you could probably chop up or something like that. So okay.
Yeah, if you got the time for that. Who's got time for that?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to do one more little
Spray it up.
thing there.
Good.
Okay, so here we go. This makes almost exactly 12. So, when I'm doing muffins, just to be on the safe side, and P.S., this looks disgusting. It looks terrible. If you have children, they're not going to want to lick the bowl.
It's got
It's got a funky, stringy texture.
Yep.
Like, who wants that? But guess what? That goes away when you bake it.
Yeah, it's all done.
You don't want to lick the bowl. Just saying.
Yeah, probably not so much.
And around here, my kids don't eat a lot of cookies and stuff, but they're like, hey, you got any dough left? Can I lick the bowl? But they don't usually eat what is been baked. So I go through one time with the scoop instead of going 2 and then having to spread it out later. You know what I mean?
Another good tip.
Is that a good tip? I thought everybody thought like that.
No.
But almost every time that I've made these, it takes about 2 scoops, but you never know because I have 2 different size of scoops. And I could have just completely screwed this up, so you never know. But when you're baking, just like,
a little bit of
Julia
talent.
Child says, who cares? Who's
cares?
to know?
Who's to know?
Just squish it back together. If you have 11 instead of 12, just say you ate one.
One of
Who
our favorite
cares?
movies, Julia.
Oh my
Julia and
gosh.
Julia.
You guys watch that? It's
Back
the
in the
best.
day.
And we do make bouffe bourguignon,
Bourguignon.
and it is delicious
It's
and not
delicious.
healthy at all.
No.
But you
don't.
should make it.
But it is good.
Yeah. See, I just licked my finger, and I'm sorry that I did that. This is pretty gross.
Yeah, there you go. One last
Anyway,
scoopy.
Yeah, about one last. If I was at Grandma Esther's house, she would make me scrape down the sides because that's about a third of a muffin there. But
Not gonna
she
do it.
doesn't have the internet. So anyway, so these are ready to go. They go for 350, about 20 to 22 minutes, and they will be done, and they will be perfect.
And we will give them that taste.
Yes. Fresh out of the oven,
We're
guys.
done.
Here we go.
And they smell so good.
Oh my gosh, it makes your whole house smell like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Willy
So
Wonka,
delish. So
Willy
one quick
Wonka.
tip. when you're taking them out of the muffin tin, make sure you run a sharp knife around there and you work it out a little bit. I may not have sprayed it as much. I never want it to have like a greasy feeling or greasy taste from the spray, so I was a little light-handed with that. I also prefer now not to use the papers. It's a lot easier to clean up, but you lose like
half the muffin.
not half, but like a fifth of a muffin.
Yeah.
So I just think it's nicer this way. I think the presentation is nice. So and they come out pretty good. They're a little sticky in spots, but you ready to have a little taste because they're still warm.
They're still warm.
And they
All right,
are.
so this one looks like the one's columnade.
That's the perfect one.
Okay, let me smell it.
Yeah.
So
good.
All right, so we have a shot.
Mr. Reformed
try it first?
Chocoholic
Yeah,
Sweet
Reformed
Tooth Man.
Chocoholic. You got
Oh,
it.
gosh. Yeah, it's good.
Ah.
It's the little bit of chocolate chip in there that gives it like a pow, but the rest of it has a really moist flavor. It's very, very nice. You could probably add a little more chocolate if you want. I've often thought about maybe adding a little coffee
Yeah, that
to
might
that.
that'd be a fun extra flavor.
So maybe I'll try that and I'll keep you guys posted.
Or even banana. I think a little bit of banana.
A lot of people use
They'll do
banana
it, but it sort of
as
takes over.
The fat replacement.
Yeah.
Takes over for me. If I'm gonna eat banana bread, I like banana bread, but I don't like chocolate banana bread.
Yeah.
So that's just me. But if you do, go for it.
So our recipe, we just want to say thank you for watching, and we were just going to say with this, so this will be on our blog, and we'll also make sure that you get a chance to share more recipes or see more recipes like this at our blog. So it's
Ask for more baking, because I would like to do that.
Let's go fitness.com. You can see here, and we'd love to have you check that out and see if there's more things that can help you live just a healthier and more fit lifestyle.
All right,
Thanks, babe.
let's go.
Let's go.